My name is BJ Williams, and welcome to another edition of RC Victory Lane as we recap was a very exciting week over in Las Vegas at the 2023 Silver State Indoor Championships at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Sorry for this little thing up here in the upper corner. The, the lights are a little bright. It's Monday morning, so hopefully when I get to a place where I can have my recording studio, I can make sure I get some slightly better lighting. But I'll just live at that for this morning's recording, because this is the only time I'm going to be doing a recording in the morning for the foreseeable future. But we had a very exciting week in Las Vegas. I was watching from here in Charlotte, enjoying the live RC broadcast. So hopefully you had a chance to as well. They have the all four of the pro mains are available on the live RC YouTube channel. So definitely go back and watch those if you didn't get a chance to catch them live over the course of the broadcast. Scotty Ernst did another phenomenal job as usual. He is probably one of, if not the best broadcasters in RC, and he is, I'm guessing, going to the Roar Nationals in the first week of June, and then he's going to go be the pit reporter for the Visions RC Off-Road race in Jay, Oklahoma, a couple of weeks after that. So if you want a good quality RC broadcast, Scotty Ernst is definitely one of the ones to tune into, along with Lance McDonald and a few others. But I'll go over that here at a later date. Right now, we're going to go over the final results from the 4 pro truck mains, and then also kind of give a shout out to some other winners as well. Sorry, I had a bit of a busy night, but first, in Pro E-Buggy, which was run on Saturday, Dakota Fenn picked up his second E-Buggy win of the year. Actually, I think it was his third, but either way, his second E-Buggy win as far as the dirt is concerned, as he won the Pro E-Buggy A main over Spencer Rivkin. They had a spirited battle, including a moment where Rivkin actually went wide into one of the hairpins. Fenn dug up the inside and took the lead. He never relinquished it over the course of the rest of the race, so he gets the win there. Spencer Rivkin for Associated finished second. Dakota Fenn runs for TLR. Brandon Rose for S-Works finished third. Ryan Mayfield for Techno finished fourth. Another solid run for him. Yao Figueiredo, I think it's pronounced Yao on the broadcast. Yao Figueiredo finished in sixth. Burkan Killick for Mugen, coming over from Germany in his first appearance in the States, finished seventh. Long Win, we'll hear more about him when we talk about the Nitro Buggy main, and also ETruggy, but we'll get him more in a minute. But he runs for HB, and he finished in 8th. Ryan Lutz for Kyosho finished 9th. Joe Bornhorst for S-Works finished 10th. Seth Van Dalen for Techno finished 11th. Frankie Contreras Jr. for Mugen finished 12th. Ryan Cavalieri for Team WRC finished 13th. Jared Tebow in his final start at Silver State finished 14th for Mayako. Ty Tessman for X-Ray finished 15th, and Tater Sontag for TLR finished 16th. Congratulations to all those who made the finals for Pro E-Buggy. Next up on the docket for the day was the Pro Nitro Truck A main, and this one was very exciting in the last. This was very good racing. They got really exciting with about 9 minutes to go, as Ryan Mayfield took advantage of a flame out, which basically means that Dakota Fenn's car lost drive, but the engine was still working. And he took the win in Pro Nitro Truck, running for Techno. Ryan Lutz for Kyosho finished second. Spencer Rivkin for Associated finished third. Another one to the podium for him. Dakota Fenn rallied back after that flame out and finished fourth for TLR. See, Mason Fuller for HB, we'll hear more about him here in just a minute, finished fifth for HB Racing. Ryan Cavalieri finished sixth. I believe he ran an Associated truck this past weekend, but I have yet to confirm that. Spencer Heckert for S-Works finished seventh. Ty Tessman for X-Ray finished eighth. Yao Figueiredo for Team Kyosho finished ninth. Joe Bornhorst for S-Works finished 10th. Cole Ogden for HB finished 11th. By the way, minor sidelight, if my friend Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, for the No Name RC podcast, is getting ready to record his recap for Silver State. He's going to have a few things to say about Cole Ogden and his performance on that. So definitely look out for the No Name RC podcast when that goes live on YouTube and also on all your usual podcast platforms. He's going to have a few other interesting things to say as well, so definitely tune in for that. That's all I'll say about it. But Cole Ogden finished 11th. Marco Barufalo, we'll hear about him more again as well. He finished in 12th. Seth Van Dalen for Techno finished 13th. Barufalo, by the way, runs for Techno as well. Aiden Horn for Associated finishes 14th. Frankie Contreras Jr. for Team Mugen finishes 15th. And Tanner Denny for, I believe it's S-Works, finishes in 16th. Then we turn the calendar over to Sunday, and Sunday is really the big day because that is when you would have the Pro Nitro Buggy A main. That is the premier race of pretty much any of the dirt events. Is the pro main, because these events draw some of the fastest and the best drivers from all over the world for these events. So definitely that is some must-see TV. In fact, if you watch the live broadcast, the seats were absolutely packed at the South Point Equestrian Center at the South Point Hotel Casino for the Pro Buggy A main. That was, so clearly people understand this is the race to watch over the course of the weekend. Let me go ahead and put this out here a little bit, see if you can see a little better. But before that, we had the Pro Electric Truck A main. Now, those of you who watched the Silver State last year know that the Pro E-Truck A main is the race that really, I guess, say made a Phelan win, aka a little bump. If you follow the live RC broadcast, you'll hear that name a lot. But Phelan win out of Louisiana made an insane pass on Joe Warhorse on the last lap that immediately went viral. I think it's still got thousands and thousands and thousands of views, maybe even millions if I think about it. He would go to win that race and really put his name on the map as far as being a top-level professional RC driver is concerned. And bear in mind, he was 11, I believe, at the time. 10 or 11 at the time. So his is a name that if you didn't know, you certainly would know. But I'm going to have a little something to say about him here in just a minute. But that's the reason why this race was particularly looked forward to, because of what Fee did last year. Unfortunately, he didn't have that same level of success in the race this year, as Mason Fuller for HB Racing took the win, followed by Spencer Rivkin for Associated in second, Ryan Mayfield for Techno with a nice podium in third, Ryan Lutz for Team Kyosho in fourth, and the aforementioned Phelan win, he would go on to finish fifth. He actually had a couple of rough spots. He was up as high as, I believe, second at one point, but he had a couple of mistakes and ended up finishing in fifth. Caden Fuller, Mason's brother for HB Racing, finished in sixth. Joe Boardhorse, the 2022 runner-up, finished in seventh, running for S-Works. Marco Barufalo finished in eighth. Frankie Contreras Jr. for Mugen finished ninth. Tater Sontag for TLR finished 10th. Cole Caston for Techno finished 11th. Renaud Savoya for, I believe, Kyosho finished 12th. Ty Testman for X-Ray finished 13th. Joey Bourdon, who picked up his first major in E-Truck at the Dirt Nitro Challenge earlier in the year, finished in 14th for I believe it's Team Techno. 15th was Aiden Horn for Team Associated, and 16th was Jaden Jameson, who I believe was part of the Australian contingent. Lots of Australians made the trip over across the Pacific for this one. But he finished in 16th to round out the field in Pro E-Truck. And then finally, we had the race that everybody was there to see. And again, I should also mention, they ran the Pro A mains a little earlier in the day so they could maximize the number of people. And there were, I believe, over 1,000 people watching the Pro mains when they actually aired. So definitely a good move by Joey to be able to get this in front of a lot more eyeballs and get a lot more views for the race by going that route. Again, there were some questions there. Again, the scheduling was a little wonky because that led to some of the lower other A mains. I shouldn't call them lower necessarily, but other A mains ending much later. Like we're talking 11, 12 o'clock at night in the by the time the racing was over. And this is also Pacific time, so we're talking like 2-3 a.m. And if you're coming from the East Coast, that means you're going to be completely worn out by the time all is said and done. But either way, the pro mains got lots of eyeballs on them in the live broadcast, and there was definitely a lot of exciting racing in this one. Pro Nitro Buggy, the what we told you about Marco Barufalo, he would go on to win the Pro Buggy A main after Dakota Fed actually flamed out on his first pit stop at about 9 minutes into the 45-minute race, and he would drop all the way down the order as a result of that one. But Barufalo took the win. Long win. Now, I'm going to stop here just a moment. This is, I believe, his best finish in a major as far as Nitro Buggy is concerned. He's made a couple of A mains in some of the smaller events as well. I think he picked up a win at the Ice. He picked up a couple of wins in some of the more regional events. Regional, but still fairly well-known events. But this was probably the race that I think I called this one after watching his coming out party, because he is a very, very fast young man from Louisiana. And actually, if you're watching the World Championship broadcast last year from Redovan in Spain, he won the junior final at that one, even though he didn't quite make the A final there. But he is still very, very fast, and someone who I really think is part of the future of Nitro RC racing, along with racers like Caden Fuller, Mason Fuller, Spencer Heckert, and some of the other younger guys who are coming up the ranks here and are making a name for themselves, getting into these A mains. He battled Barufalo for a good part of that A main. Actually, I believe briefly led before making a couple of mistakes and finishing behind Barufalo. But to be able to hang with one of the fastest racers in Europe, definitely a big feather in the cap for Fee Long, and he has got a lot to be proud of heading back to Louisiana and I reckon we're going to hear from him, I think, when we get to the Roar Nationals here in June out in Chico. And I would not be surprised if he makes the A main out there, or at least makes the semifinals and works and earns his way into the A main at the Roar Nationals. And this becomes really a springboard to what could be a very, very nice RC career. But he would finish second running his HB buggy. Third place would be Mason Fuller, another of the very, very fast juniors, running for HB. Picked up the win in the Pro ETruggy, as I mentioned earlier, and he finished third in Pro Nitro Buggy, one of his best finishes in that class. You have to think he's going to be competing for wins quite a bit here over the course of the rest of the year, and probably for years to come. Ryan Lutz, nice rally there as he finished in fourth. Dakota Fed rallied after that flame out in his first pit stop, would go on to finish fifth. Spencer Rivkin for Associated would finish sixth. Cole Tollard for TLR. He's had a lot of very good runs since the switch from Associated at the end of 2022 into 2023. He's had a lot of really, really good runs with that TLR equipment. He would finish in seventh. Seth Van Dalen for Techno would be eighth. Taylor Sontag for TLR would finish ninth. Ryan Cavalieri for Team WRC would finish in 10th. Joe Warhorse for S-Works would finish 11th. Cole Ogden would finish 12th for HB Racing after starting in second. He ran up front for a little bit, but he just lost. He fell off the pace and was going to finish 12th. Brandon Rose would finish 13th for S-Works. He is doing pretty well, making a lot of A mains here. I really think he's somebody who we're going to be keeping an eye on here in the next few years as well. Ryan Mayfield in, well, really, I guess we call it a non-Ryan Mayfield performance, because he is generally someone who would think is contending in a lot of these races, but he only finished 14th, just could not find the pace in the Pro Buggy main and be up there with Barufalo and Felong and some of the other faster guys in that main. So we'll have to see how he if he can turn things around with the techno gear heading to the Nationals in California here in a few weeks. Running on the field, we have Camden Lyon making the A main at Silver State. I believe it's his first A main, I believe, at a major. So congratulations to Camden on that one. He runs for S-Works. His dad, Tim, is actually a friend of mine on Facebook. Nice guy. So Tim, if you get a chance to watch this later, I'll probably send you a message about it. But if you get a chance to watch this later, props to Camden for the A main run. I really think he's another one who we're going to be seeing a lot of in the next few years, as far as the juniors really start getting their getting more and more opportunities and getting into the upper level of the pro ranks. So props to him for that. Tim, if you get a chance, I hope you gave Camden lots of congratulations after that one. And rounding out the field, Caden Fuller, brother of Mason Fuller, he finished in 16th. He was the last guy that automatically qualified for the A main after qualifying on Friday. But definitely think that we'll be seeing quite a bit of him. He had a really good battle in E-Truck with Mason at the second Nitro Blast in Tennessee. So I think we're going to hear a lot more of this guy, of him as well, over the course of the next few months and possibly years as well, depending on how things go for the both of them. And that is it for the pro mains as far as the finals are concerned. We had a couple other very, very entertaining races over the course of the mains on Saturday and Sunday. The first one I want to talk about is actually the last race of the weekend, the Intermediate Nitro Buggy A main. And the reason I'm mentioning this was because David Olson would take the win, but he actually ran out of fuel on his victory lap, which is the extra lap he got because he got in front of the line, but no one else did before the time ran out. But he ran out of fuel on his victory, and I really think that fuel mileage was probably as close to on the edges of any race that I've seen online here in the last few years, as we had quite a few guys. We had guys running out of fuel, flaming out, and having to get run to the pits because of their fuel mileage. Just they've been stretching their fuel to the absolute nth degree, and their cars just ran dry, and that was it. And like I said before, Dakota Fenn, he ran out of fuel in both his Pro Truggy, and Pro Buggy A mains. So this affects everybody, and you just have to be very, very careful with your settings and your throttle and all of that, and be mindful of your fuel mileage over the course of this one. As again, if it wasn't for the fact that the second place finisher got caught at the line, I think that he also would have probably lost that race because of running out of fuel, because he stretched his fuel as far as he could go, and that's something that you see a lot even in full-size racing. And so congrats to David on that one, but you might want to hope you had a horseshoe in your back pocket during that race, because I think that's the only reason why you didn't lose that race when you ran out of fuel as you were heading down the right side of the track. Another one I really want to make mention of is Reggie Tung. Now, if you're a football fan, you probably remember that name from his time in the NFL in the late 90s into the 2000s. And I actually gave Scotty a bit of a hard time about this over the weekend, because I think I repeated the teams he played for a total of like 5 or 6 times over the course of the weekend, just to make sure he would remember it, because I think that was an interesting sidelight. But Reggie Tung played for the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Jets, and a brief stint with the Oakland now Las Vegas Raiders before he retired. Now he is full into RC. He was going to win the 40-plus E-Buggy main on Saturday. Congrats to Reggie on that. Also congrats to Jaden 2 for his win in, I believe it was Intermediate Nitro Truck, I think it was. As he and Ivan Moreno Jr., who I mentioned a couple times on these broadcasts, had it coming together in the late stage of the race, and actually I think it was the final lap, and Moreno actually got a 1-second penalty and dropped a second, although there was quite a bit of talk from some about him possibly not even further down than that. But I think that, you gave him a 1-second penalty. He's the only one who was, Jaden was the only one who was affected. No reason to score anybody else higher because of Moreno's choice. So he had a 1-second penalty, finished in second. But congrats to Jaden 2, another up-and-coming associated runner. I think he's someone who we'll be hearing from in the next few years, especially if he moves up to the pro class. We'll kind of see how he goes with that. And I also want to make a mention, which she didn't win, but Brittany Tozer is a very entertaining, is a young lady who had a very entertaining mic'd-up video and also an interview during the 2018 Reedy race, and she actually made the A main in Sportsman Nitro Truggy, I believe it was, and she made it outright. She didn't just barely make it in. She actually won. She actually bumped her way all the way up to the Sportsman A main in Nitro Truck, and so definitely props to her. And I hope that I hope that she's still been getting a hard time from that mic'd up video. But I hope if she still hears about that video, I hope she takes it in good spirits, because I know that she's a very, very nice young lady, and I hope that she becomes one of those fast young ladies in the line of someone like Rhonda Drake and Katie Carmody from Race Like a Girl, and a number of others who are in the RC racing profession. All right, well, that is going to do it for my coverage of the Silver State Indoor Championships from Las Vegas. Hopefully, if you get a chance to, you like this video, and make sure to subscribe if you want to hear more of these recaps. And if you'd like to donate and support future streams, you can go to the link you can go to the description, and you can find my PayPal and my Venmo information. You can send tips that way, and hopefully you'll upgrade my equipment, and you'll do more of these. As I believe my plan for now is my next recap will come during the Roar Nitro Off-Road Nationals from Chico, California, in June. I believe that is June 4th through that's June. Sometime it's in the first week of June, I believe it is. I'll post the community tab when that is exactly, and hopefully I will be able to get those recaps in. That's going to be out in California again, so I'm probably going to have to play around with my timing just to make sure that I get these out in a reasonable time frame so a lot more people can watch. But that would be my next one. So until we talk to you during the Roar Off-Road Nationals in Chico, California, my name is BJ Williams. So long. Go fast, turn left if you have to, turn right if you want to. Nitro is the glory, and we will talk to you next month.